Welcome to Sydney, a city which hardly needs any introduction. Geographically blessed with a gorgeous harbour and two of the most iconic buildings in the world, the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. Big clean-up going on after the mother and daughter of all New Year's Eve parties, everyone getting ready for this fifth test. And on a beautiful afternoon in Sydney, it's a happy new year from the Sydney Cricket Ground, with this series beautifully poised, 2-1 to England, going into the fifth and final test match starting here tomorrow morning. And in our preview with Marston's pedigree in a minute, we're going to talk to one of the architects of England's 2-1 advantage, the bowling coach. Now I'm here with one of the backroom staff, one of the most important men in the whole England setup, the man who's helped to plot the downfall of the Australian batsman, David Saker, former Victorian fast bowler. David, first question, what victory or what performance by the England bowlers are you most proud of this series?
It probably was the second innings in Melbourne. We knew it was going to be a flat wicket. It was going to be tough to get 10 wickets, but the way we went about it was excellent. We didn't start very well with a new ball, which we thought was going to be really important. But once we got some reverse swing going quite early, it made it really tough for the opposition batters. So that was really pleasing that we stuck to our plans really well, and we got some really good results.
From the outside, it looked like a lot of persistence. I mean, the ball wasn't doing a lot, really. Was that the key to it in a way?
Yeah, it was, and I think we've sort of said from the start against this team, the Australian team, if we can put pressure on them, they'll be their own worst enemy at the end of the day, and that's been pretty much the way this series has gone. If we've bowled some really good balls to get wickets, but we've also bowled groups of balls, like groups of overs, to put pressure on the opposition batters, and that in turn gets us wickets. As a bowling group, that's what we try to really get instilled in our team, that if we can do that from both ends as much as you can, you'll put pressure on batting group and they'll make the mistake.
You've come up with a sort of a little slight slant on a theme with your wobble seam stuff with Jimmy Anderson. Can you just explain that?
Yeah, well, we watched Mohammad Asif have really good success against us, so we studied some video on how he released the ball, and we went away and we've tried to work on that as a group of bowlers, but Jimmy seemed to master it really quickly, and on wickets that have just got a little bit of seam movement, that ball becomes really lethal. Well,
what's the principle of it? You've got a ball there, so can you show us sort of how you grip it for that ball and how you release it?
Well, the normal outswing grip would be your fingers on the seam. We watched Asif do it. He parts his fingers quite a bit and just gets his fingers each side of the ball, and as he releases it, it wobbles. Again, we've tried that with other bowlers in our group and they can't seem to master that. Jimmy seemed to have mastered that.
So it's
really
not tilting the seam, because I mean, for an outswinger, you're going to bowl it with a seam slightly pointed towards third man.
Yes. And
obviously the in-swinger, slightly towards long leg. But you're saying you almost spread the fingers a little bit.
And hold it reasonably straight.
Without giving away any sort of secrets for tomorrow, how do you think this pitch will play and how roughly should one bowl? I mean, obviously a good length, you're going to say, but does it change during the match, or do you think it will change during the match?
I haven't had a lot of experience here playing, or I've just been watching test matches here quite a lot. The last few years it's actually swung quite a bit in the first day, and it's been quite difficult for the batting groups early, but then it gets a bit easier day 2 and 3, and then day 4, day 5 it'll spin, and it'll sometimes get a variation of bounce. That looks to be a good grass cover on the wicket, so there'll be some good carry tomorrow, but underneath it's really hard, so I reckon potentially has a chance to obviously spin quite a bit, which it always does, but I think it might actually play a bit up and down late in the games.
Has it been strange seeing that you sort of trying to execute a defeat of your own country? Or how do you handle that?
I haven't felt strange at all. I've been asked that question quite often, and at the end of the day I never worked with the Australian cricket team, I worked with the Victorian team, and as soon as I got the opportunity to work in international cricket, I embraced it and tried to do my best, and obviously with my knowledge of Australian cricketers, when we came here I was going to be quite valuable in that sense.
Interesting thoughts from David Saker there, and in fact it's the backroom staff that have been one of the keys to this England situation, 2-1 up in the series. Now lots of people are saying how the team's going to approach this last test match. Well, I tell you, it's going to be an absolutely needle encounter, because England are desperate to finish the series 3-1, and Australia are absolutely desperate equally to make it 2-2 and save a bit of pride. So it's going to be really tough and ruthless out there. Now there have been a couple of forced changes on Australia. One of course is Ricky Ponting is out, so they're bringing in Usman Khawaja the left-handed talented batsman, for his debut at number 3, and also Michael Beer, the left-arm spinner, has been announced in the team too. For England, they'll probably be unchanged, and it could just be Paul Collingwood's last Test match, given he's had a fairly lean run of late. But he, of course, will really want to go out with a bang. What's going to happen? My hunch is that the England bowlers are going to continue to hound the rather fragile Australian batting into submission, and England will be victorious sometime on the 4th day for a triumphant end to a brilliantly planned and executed campaign.